in Hawaii, over in Maui, and we have a little club back there called Django's, and we play poker in there all the time.
Country music has always been about heart, truth, and real emotions. Yet, not all were as perfect as they seemed. Some lived double lives, loved on stage and hated off it. How can someone so loved in public be hated off screen? Are they really the way they claim to be? Join us as we reveal the stories behind their differences. Number 21, Carrie Underwood. Carrie Underwood became a household name after her unforgettable win on a national singing competition. She was known for her powerful voice that could soar across arenas and her image as one of the cleanest and most grounded stars in country music. Her early songs blended heartache and hope, creating an emotional bond with fans who saw her as both elegant and relatable. On stage, Carrie was a vision of confidence, delivering each note with perfect control and emotional fire. Her performances felt larger than life, yet her presence always carried a sense of warmth and humility that pulled audiences closer. Away from the spotlight, Carrie lived a quiet and steady life, devoted to her husband and children. She carefully balanced fame with privacy, avoiding the chaos that often follows superstardom. Though her beauty and success attracted endless attention, she never sought unnecessary drama. She was deeply involved in charitable work, especially causes supporting animals and children. Friends and colleagues described her as polite and disciplined, never losing focus on what truly mattered. Behind the cameras, Carrie remained much like her public self, composed, kind, and consistent. She stayed away from major controversies, preferring to let her music and work speak for her. Her ability to maintain that same grace off stage made her a rare gem in the entertainment world. Next, we look at a star whose smooth charm and beachy vibes made him the sound of summer, but whose real life was more quiet and reserved. Number 20, Blake Shelton. Blake Shelton was the funny, charming Oklahoma singer who turned country music into a television success story. He was known for his easygoing personality, deep country drawl, and catchy songs that often mixed humor with heart. His presence as a coach on a major singing show gave him a new kind of fame, turning him from a country star into a household name across America. On stage and on screen, he was the jokester everyone loved, the man who could laugh at himself and still deliver a powerful performance when it mattered. In his public life, Blake came across as approachable and real. He made people feel like he could be their friend or next-door neighbor, even while standing under bright stage lights. His chemistry with fans and fellow musicians made him one of the most likable personalities in the business. Off camera, Blake was quieter and more private than most people realized. Behind the laughter and public charm was a man who valued solitude and peace when the cameras stopped rolling. Fame brought attention to his relationships, especially with other stars, but he often handled it with humor instead of anger. Despite occasional tabloid noise, Blake maintained a friendly reputation in the industry. Those who worked closely with him often said he was generous, easy to talk to, and respectful. Number 19, Kenny Chesney. Kenny Chesney built a career on sunshine and songs that felt like ocean breezes. His island-inspired country music gave fans an escape from everyday life. Hits like No Shoes, No Shirt, No Problems made him the soundtrack of summer for millions. On stage, he was pure energy, running across giant stadium stages, engaging fans, and turning concerts into massive celebrations. His fans didn't just attend his shows. They lived them, wearing beach hats and singing along as if on vacation. Off stage, though, Kenny's world was much quieter. He was intensely private, rarely sharing details of his relationships or personal struggles. That calm, reserved nature was the opposite of his wild, carefree image. Despite his fame, he lived simply, often retreating to the islands he sang about to recharge. While fans saw endless sunshine, Kenny also faced tough moments, including personal misunderstandings and the pressure of constant touring. Yet, he kept his dignity, avoiding scandal and staying professional. Those who worked with him described him as serious, business-minded, and deeply focused on his craft. He was generous but disciplined, balancing his success with respect for others. Behind the scenes, he wasn't the loud party host fans imagined, but a thoughtful man who valued peace and loyalty. On stage, Kenny was a master entertainer. Off stage, he was a thinker who built a quiet empire while protecting his personal peace. Next, we move from the sound of the ocean to the heart of the South, Where a country star built his empire on emotion and soul, Tim McGraw. Number 18, Tim McGraw. Tim McGraw rose to fame with a voice that carried sincerity and strength. He was known for heartfelt songs that told stories of love, loss, and life's simple truths. With a rugged charm and commanding presence, Tim quickly became one of country music's most trusted storytellers. On stage, his performances were emotional and powerful. He connected with fans through every lyric, making each concert feel personal. His long partnership with Faith Hill only made his image stronger, showing audiences that love and loyalty could still shine in the entertainment world. Away from the bright lights, Tim was a disciplined and family-oriented man. He managed fame with grace, building a life rooted in balance. Despite enormous success, he remained grounded, often crediting his family for keeping him steady. His lifestyle was far from reckless. He avoided scandal and focused on fitness, music, and family. Yet, behind the calm, there was a drive few could match. His determination to stay at the top made him a perfectionist, one who pushed himself and his team to excellence. People close to him described him as respectful, straightforward, and dependable. He treated his band, crew, and fans with kindness, setting an example for younger artists. Though fame can change many, Tim stayed consistent. The man on stage, singing about honesty and love, was the same man off stage, quietly working, exercising, and spending time with loved ones. Number 17, Miranda Lambert. Miranda Lambert became one of country music's most commanding female stars through her fearless songwriting and powerful performances. She is known for turning life experiences into emotional anthems, creating songs that hit hard and stay memorable. Her rise began in the early 2000s, when her raw honesty and fire-filled lyrics stood out in a genre dominated by polished ballads. With her band, the Pistol Annies, and her solo career, she built an image that blended toughness with vulnerability, a mix her fans couldn't resist. On stage, Miranda's energy is pure electricity. She delivers her songs like confessions and confrontations, using her fierce eyes and strong voice to connect deeply with the crowd. Every lyric seems lived, not just written. But away from the spotlight, Miranda is a more complex figure. Her public divorce and outspoken nature made her a frequent topic in tabloids. While many praised her strength, others saw her bluntness as temperamental. Friends describe her as loyal, funny, and deeply protective of those she trusts, but critics have sometimes called her abrasive. Off camera, she prefers quiet life moments, often choosing solitude or time with animals on her Texas farm. Next up, one of the queens of the country who built a legacy that never faded, Reba McEntire. Number 16, Reba McEntire. Reba McEntire stands tall as one of the most respected and enduring voices in country music. Her journey began in the 1970s when her unique blend of traditional country roots and modern energy drew widespread admiration. Known for her bright red hair, radiant smile, and crystal-clear vocals, Reba didn't just sing songs, she embodied them. Whether on stage or on screen, she became a household name, bridging the gap between music, television, and business. Her stage presence is magnetic. Reba's shows are known for emotional storytelling, stunning costumes, and a warm connection with audiences. She treats every performance like a shared experience, making even the largest stadium feel intimate. Away from the spotlight, Reba is known for her work ethic and devotion to family. She faced personal loss, including the tragic death of her band members in a plane crash, with quiet resilience. In private, Reba is deeply respected for her kindness and humility. Younger artists often describe her as a mentor, someone who offers wisdom without judgment. She rarely courts controversy and prefers to focus on her craft and businesses. Number 15, Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton shines as a cultural treasure whose impact stretches far beyond country music. Known for her sparkling personality, witty humor, and extraordinary songwriting, Dolly built a career that no one could replicate. Her rise from rural Tennessee poverty to global superstardom remains one of music's most inspiring stories. With over 3,000 songs written and countless hits, she turned her charm and storytelling into a lifelong legacy. On stage, Dolly is warmth and joy personified. She speaks to her audience as if they are old friends, filling the room with laughter and light. Every performance carries heart, whether she's singing a touching ballad or cracking a playful joke. But away from the stage, Dolly is a sharp-minded businesswoman. She built an empire that includes theme parks, films, and philanthropic foundations, all managed with care and intelligence. In her personal life, Dolly is famously private. Though she shares her optimism freely, she guards her home life closely. Known for kindness and compassion, she helps others quietly, funding education, hospitals, and charities. And speaking of power and grace, the next star redefined what it means to be a country pop legend, Shania Twain. Number 14, Shania Twain. Shania Twain is the definition of a global country pop superstar. Bursting onto the scene in the 1990s, she brought glamour, confidence, and attitude to a genre that was often understated. Her albums sold tens of millions, and her hits like Man, I Feel Like a Woman and You're Still the One made her an international sensation. Shania didn't just make country music, she reinvented it, blending pop hooks with country storytelling. On stage, she exudes charisma. Her concerts are spectacles filled with style and empowerment, commanding attention from fans worldwide. But beyond the glitter and lights, Shania's personal journey tells a deeper story. She faced immense hardship, from losing her parents young to battling Lyme disease that affected her voice. Her high-profile divorce from producer Mutt Lange tested her resilience, yet she transformed her pain into a powerful comeback. In private, Shania is more reserved. She values peace, family, and authenticity. Those who know her describe her as thoughtful and quietly strong. She approaches fame with care, choosing balance over excess. Number 13, Faith Hill. Faith Hill captured hearts with her velvety voice and stunning stage presence, becoming one of the most beloved country pop singers of her generation. Emerging in the 1990s, her music blended heartfelt emotion with commercial polish, allowing her to connect with both country loyalists and pop audiences. Her songs radiate warmth, often celebrating love, life, and family. On stage, Faith's performances are graceful yet powerful. She commands attention with her poise and charm, often joined by her husband, Tim McGraw, in breathtaking duets that celebrate unity and romance. Together, they became country music's royal couple, admired for balancing fame with family values. Away from the limelight, Faith lives a quieter life. She's known for her devotion to her children and her desire to keep her personal world grounded. Critics have occasionally questioned her crossover into pop, but her authenticity always shines through. Those close to her describe her as kind, organized, and devoted, a perfectionist who still finds time for compassion. Number 12, Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks remains one of the biggest names in country music history. Known for his powerful voice, emotional storytelling, and ability to connect with thousands of fans at once, he brought a new energy to country entertainment. During the 1990s, Garth changed the game by transforming country shows into stadium-sized experiences filled with lights, emotion, and excitement. His records shattered sales charts, making him one of the best-selling solo artists in American music. Fans adored his warm personality, heartfelt songs, and the way he made country music feel larger than life. On stage, Garth is unstoppable. His performances are full of movement, emotion, and gratitude. He runs, jumps, and belts out songs with every ounce of his energy, creating moments fans never forget. But behind that larger-than-life performer is a very private man. Offstage, Garth protects his family life closely, especially after remarrying fellow country star Trisha Yearwood. He limits interviews and prefers life away from constant media attention. However, not everything about Garth's offstage life has been smooth. His careful business decisions, especially during the height of his fame, sometimes created tension with industry figures and even fans. He could be protective of his brand and music rights, which made him seem tough and calculated. Still, those who know him personally describe him as generous and deeply loyal. Up next is a man who was never afraid to speak his mind, a performer who turned controversy into a signature, Toby Keith. Number 11, Toby Keith. Toby Keith was a force of nature in country music. Big voice, bold personality, and songs that carried raw pride. He represented the everyman, hardworking, tough, and proud of his roots. His patriotic anthems like Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue, and his love for storytelling made him an American symbol of defiance and confidence. With his cowboy hat tilted and guitar in hand, Toby gave fans the feeling that he was one of them. strong, straightforward, and honest. On stage, Toby owned the crowd with his booming presence. He didn't just perform, he commanded. Fans loved his bold humor and confident energy, while critics admired his ability to connect with ordinary people through his songs about life, love, and loyalty. But offstage, Toby's strong opinions often sparked debate. He was outspoken about politics and unafraid to voice what others might keep quiet. That fearlessness earned him both respect and criticism. In private, Toby was fiercely loyal to his band, friends, and family. He could be tough when protecting those he cared for, and his honesty sometimes came across as bluntness. Despite occasional feuds and controversial statements, he maintained a strong business mind. Building a restaurant chain and liquor brand, away from the cameras, Toby was a family man who valued peace and privacy, even though his public persona was loud and proud. Number 10. Morgan Wallen. Morgan Wallen rose fast in the country world, blending modern sounds with a southern twang that attracted millions. His voice carried a rough honesty that made listeners feel like they knew him personally. Songs like Whiskey Glasses and Last Night ruled the charts, proving he had found a new formula that spoke to younger fans. His success brought a wave of popularity that few new artists achieve so quickly. On stage, Morgan's energy feels raw and real. He doesn't rely on flashy effects, just his voice, guitar, and natural charisma. Crowds sing every word back to him, showing how deeply his music connects. But behind the fame came a hard lesson. In 2021, Morgan faced massive backlash when a video surfaced of him using a racial slur. The incident caused his label to suspend him and radio stations to pull his songs temporarily. Though he later apologized and took responsibility, the moment changed how many people saw him. Offstage, Morgan is known for valuing family and staying close to his roots in Tennessee. He's been described as laid back and humble in private, though some have called his behavior careless during his early fame. Since the controversy, he's worked to rebuild trust, focusing on music and reflection. And now, a country rock powerhouse whose success and strength have weathered storms, both personal and public, Jason Aldean. Number 9, Jason Aldean. Jason Aldean carved his place as one of country music's modern giants. His mix of country storytelling and rock-inspired guitar riffs gave him a unique sound that dominated radio for years. From anthems like Dirt Road Anthem to emotional hits like You Make It Easy, Jason brought heart and edge to every song he released. Fans loved that he wasn't afraid to push boundaries, giving traditional country a modern, rugged twist. On stage, Jason is a natural-born leader. His concerts feel like one big gathering of friends, loud, fun, and full of life. He commands attention with confidence and an easy charm, connecting effortlessly with fans from all walks of life. But off stage, he tends to keep his personal world private. He's a devoted husband and father, and he doesn't seek constant media attention. His calm demeanor off stage contrasts with his powerful performances. Still, Jason has faced criticism over time. Some fans questioned his political associations or public stances, and certain career choices sparked debate. Yet, he often lets his music do the talking rather than responding publicly. Those who know him describe him as straightforward, loyal, and focused on family. Behind the fame, Jason Aldean remains grounded. He lives his life quietly when the cameras are off, choosing to spend time with loved ones over headlines. Number 8. Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson stands as one of the most iconic and recognizable figures in country music. With his gentle twang, unmistakable phrasing, and poetic lyrics, Willie became a bridge between traditional country and free-spirited rebellion. His hits like On the Road Again and Always on My Mind made him a household name, while his relaxed style and unique guitar tone turned him into a legend. But it wasn't just his sound that made him loved, it was his soul. Willie carried himself with warmth and humor, making fans feel like they were sitting with an old friend. On stage, Willie's performances are an experience of unity and joy. His shows aren't flashy, they're soulful gatherings filled with laughter, stories, and timeless music. Fans adore his easygoing charm and genuine connection to his audience. Yet, away from the stage, Willie's life has been full of twists. His open love for marijuana, frequent run-ins with tax issues, and political activism have made him both celebrated and criticized. Some admire his boldness, Others see him as a rebel who bends too many rules. In private, Willie is known for his generosity and big heart. He helps fellow musicians, stands up for farmers, and gives his time to social causes. But he also has a stubborn streak, one that sometimes gets him into trouble. However, unlike this mellow outlaw hero, the next country star's charm hit a much darker struggle that nearly ended his career: Charlie Rich. Number 7. Charlie Rich. Charlie Rich was a man of many musical colors, blending country, jazz, blues, and soul into something entirely his own. Known for his velvety voice and smooth piano-driven songs, he stood out during a time when country music was changing fast. His biggest hit, Behind Closed Doors, made him an international sensation, showing the softer, more emotional side of country storytelling. With his elegant suits and calm presence, Charlie brought a touch of class to every stage he graced. But while fans saw sophistication and charm, behind the scenes, Charlie wrestled with his own demons. Alcohol became a heavy weight on his career, clouding his talent and judgment. One of his most infamous moments came at the 1975 Country Music Association Awards, when, clearly intoxicated, he burned an envelope announcing John Denver as Entertainer of the Year. That act shocked fans and peers, changing how people saw him overnight. Away from the spotlight, Charlie could be warm and deeply sensitive, yet unpredictable when drinking. His colleagues admired his musical brilliance, but worried about his self-destructive behavior. He wasn't cruel or arrogant, just a man lost in his own inner storms. When sober, he was thoughtful, quiet, and gracious. When not, his actions could derail his progress. Number 6. Hank Williams Jr. Hank Williams Jr. was born into country royalty, but he carved his own wild path through music. The son of the legendary Hank Williams, he grew up surrounded by fame, expectation, and music's heavy legacy. Yet instead of imitating his father's sorrowful ballads, he created his own sound, one that mixed southern rock swagger with country grit. His songs, like Family Tradition and A Country Boy Can Survive, became anthems of independence, toughness, and pride. On stage, Hank Jr. is pure energy, loud, confident, and unapologetic. His concerts are rowdy celebrations of country life, filled with fans who love his rebellious spirit. He connects with audiences through raw power, guitar solos, and unfiltered personality. However, off the stage, Hank's life has often stirred controversy. His 1975 near-fatal mountain falls changed him forever, both physically and emotionally. From then on, he rebuilt himself, scarred, yet stronger and more defiant. His outspoken nature has made him both loved and criticized. Political statements, public feuds, and brash opinions have created waves of backlash over the years. Still, his loyalty to his fans and family never wavered. People close to him describe a devoted father and a man who stands firm in his beliefs, even when unpopular. However, unlike Hank's loud rebellion, the next man built his name through calm, devotion, and timeless faith: Randy Travis. Number 5. Randy Travis. Randy Travis brought a wave of tradition back to country music in the 1980s, reminding fans what heartfelt storytelling and a deep voice could do. With his smooth baritone and songs like Forever and Ever, Amen, he became one of the most admired artists of his time. His sound was pure country, steady, humble, and filled with emotion that spoke straight to the heart. On stage, Randy had a quiet power. He didn't rely on flashy lights or big gestures. Instead, he let his voice and sincerity carry the show. His fans adored him for his grace, discipline, and authenticity. Yet, behind that calm surface, his personal journey was marked by both triumph and tragedy. Earlier in his career, Randy faced personal troubles, from legal challenges to moments of inner turmoil that threatened to overshadow his success. But as he matured, he found faith and purpose, turning toward a more spiritual path. Later in life, severe health challenges, including a devastating stroke, tested his resilience. Despite these struggles, he has remained an admired and respected figure, inspiring others with his quiet courage. Off stage, Randy is known as humble, kind, and deeply devoted to his beliefs. His transformation from a troubled young star to a reflective, grounded man shows remarkable strength. While his voice was silenced for a time, his legacy continues to speak loudly in every heartfelt song he left behind. Number 4. Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash was one of the most unforgettable voices in country music history. Known for his deep tone and dark storytelling, he stood out as both an outlaw and a man of faith. His songs, like Folsom Prison Blues and I Walk the Line, spoke for those living on society's edge: prisoners, workers, and the brokenhearted. Cash wasn't just a singer, he was a voice for people who felt unseen. His concerts, especially in prisons, were full of emotion, giving his fans a sense that he truly understood their pain. Away from the stage, Johnny Cash's life was filled with turbulence. He fought hard battles with alcohol and prescription substances that nearly destroyed him. During these dark times, his temper and erratic behavior strained relationships, but his charm and deep regret often brought forgiveness. Meeting June Carter changed his life, helping him find stability and rediscover purpose. Together, they became one of country music's most beloved couples. Even in his lowest moments, Cash showed great heart. He used his fame to raise awareness for the poor, the imprisoned, and the broken. Unlike Cash's raw honesty, George Jones's story tells of a man whose angelic voice masked a storm inside. Number 3. George Jones. George Jones was often called the greatest voice in country music. His ability to pour heartbreak into every lyric made him an icon. Songs like He Stopped Loving Her Today didn't just play on the radio. They lived in people's hearts. He was adored for his sincerity, his ability to make audiences cry, and his deep connection to traditional country roots. But behind that golden voice was a man in constant turmoil. George's love for alcohol and pills nearly ended his career several times. He missed shows, earning the nickname No-Show Jones. Fans forgave him, though, because when he did perform, he was unmatched. His emotions were real. Every line he sang carried the pain of his real life. Offstage, his relationships suffered under the weight of addiction. He could be deeply loving one moment and self-destructive the next. His marriage to Tammy Wynette, filled with love and tension, was both beautiful and heartbreaking. Despite all his chaos, those close to him said he never lost his sense of humor or generosity. However, unlike Jones' fragile vulnerability, Merle Haggard's journey was one of rebellion, redemption, and grit. Number 2. Merle Haggard. Merle Haggard was the voice of the working man. His music came from experience. He lived the hard life he sang about. Songs like Mama Tried and Okie from Muskogee reflected the heart of America's blue-collar class. Haggard's sound, part of the Bakersfield movement, gave country music a rougher edge when Nashville leaned too polished. He was not afraid to say what others were thinking, even when it stirred controversy. Before fame, Merle's life was far from easy. He grew up during the Great Depression and lost his father young. That pain pushed him toward rebellion. Petty crimes led to time in San Quentin prison. It was there he decided to change. After his release, he poured his soul into music, transforming his past into powerful songs that millions related to. On stage, Haggard was straightforward, confident, and full of pride. Offstage, he could be unpredictable. His strong opinions sometimes clashed with others, and his personal life included broken marriages and heated feuds. Still, he was respected for never pretending to be anyone else. Number 1. Waylon Jennings. Waylon Jennings embodied the true outlaw spirit. With his gritty voice, leather look, and rebellious attitude, he helped reshape country music in the 1970s. His partnership with Willie Nelson and the outlaw movement changed how Nashville worked. Artists took control of their sound, and Waylon led the charge. Songs like Luckenbach, Texas, and Good-Hearted Woman made him a superstar who never bowed to the system. But the same independence that made him great also fueled his troubles. Jennings spent years battling addiction to amphetamines and struggled with health issues caused by his lifestyle. Despite these struggles, he kept performing, often pushing himself past exhaustion for the sake of his fans. His stage charisma was undeniable, smooth, wild, and deeply engaging. Behind closed doors, Waylon could be moody and unpredictable, but he was also loyal to those he loved. Friends described him as warm-hearted when sober, but his temper and habits sometimes clouded that kindness. In later years, he mellowed, focusing on family and music without the chaos. Waylon Jennings' story is that of a rebel who fought his way through darkness to leave a lasting mark on country music. His sound and spirit still define what it means to be an outlaw: untamed, passionate, and unforgettable. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and also click the next video shown on your screen.